Hello everyone, I'm BatPan, a bot who uses PANARANG. This is PANARANG, by the way. In this series of videos, I'll show you guys the functions I wanted and the way I got them to work. The function we want to cover in the next couple of videos will be the function which was used in the game Amanda the Adventurer. I know some of you guys might have played that game. It's actually a scary game, a VHS style scary game, which I'm personally a fan of. So the next couple of videos would be kind of an extended example for the functions I've told you guys in the past 3 videos. And I'm gonna give you an example. You will see a reference video of which function I'm talking about.
Today, we're going to make an apple pie. First, we need to cut the apples. Do you know what we can use to cut the apples? Good job!
So this function will have a couple of parts. This is part 1, and we will create the start of the function, and this is what we will create by the end of the video. If you type correct, it will turn green, and if you type wrong, it will turn red. So without wasting time, let's start the video. To actually create this function, as you guys saw in the reference video, we actually need a space for the text to be written in. I've used an underline or underscore, I don't know what that's called, for the place of the word, and I just duplicate that and I put A inside, which is the word on top of it. And in this way of doing it, this is way number 1, and I think this video is going to be 2 parts. You have to know what your maximum space is needed. For example, what's the word that you have with the most characters? For example, I have a word with, for example, maybe 8 characters, which is actually a lot. You don't need that amount, but if you need 8 spaces, you're just gonna have to duplicate them and put all in front and in front. So duplicate this, I'm gonna put it here. This is the same as this one. I'm just gonna turn off this one so you guys see this. I'm just gonna move it a little bit forward. If you guys want to move them with the same distance, you can click on your position X, move left and right, and you can add a plus. Then you can say for example 50, which is gonna multiply your amount by 50. For example, if it is minus 900, it's gonna be minus 850. I'll fast forward this one so you guys can actually see the results. So this is it. This is for the word, and I'll put it at the center. And for the word, I can just delete this, and I'm gonna let you know how you guys can actually create a word. So to actually create the word, you can duplicate this, put it word, and whatever you put will be put on top of the underline. So you can just duplicate this and add 50-50 by default, or you can duplicate each one of these. 3 or 2. As you guys see, if I put A will be put on top of all of them. So these are underlines and these are words. Be sure to make them a child of the canvas and not the panel. We need to create a C# script. I'm gonna name it space with words. Double click to open it up. In here, we need to add a text file. So we have to let our script know what a text file is. So we're gonna say using Unity engine.ui, which will let our script know what a text file is. In here, we need a reference to our underlines and our text. As you guys saw, the text was the A's and the underline is actually the underline. And I need to put all of them inside an array. If you don't know what an array is, I'm gonna let you guys know. You have to put this, open and close brackets, so you guys can make it an array, underlines, which is gonna get a hold of our underlines, and it's gonna put them inside an array. An array is actually, it puts multiple underlines inside one game object that you guys can access from the house number. For example, you say 0 and it starts from 0. So if you put 0 here, it's gonna say underline number 1, underline number 2, underline number 3. As you guys saw, it started from 0. So, and we need an array for the text file. So we say public text, make it an array. I'm gonna name it texts. Then I need a string for my sentence, the sentence which I need to say. For example, the word I need to say, I'm gonna say string. I'm gonna name it holder. We're just gonna hold our sentence, the thing we needed to write. And then I need a boolean, like my previous video. If you've seen my previous video, you understand this, but I'm gonna explain it again. I created the can write because if I want to, stop writing, for example, if I typed something wrong, I don't want to write anymore. So I just turn this equal to false, so it won't let me, type anymore. So this is the reason for the boolean. Then I need an integer for the code int, which is gonna count how many times I press the keyboard. Then I need another integer. I'm gonna name it house num, which is short for house number, which is gonna get a hold of the value of the game object's house number. For example, if we want to change house number 0, we make this 0, and if we want to house number 1, we make this one 1. We'll see it in the upcoming minutes. Then I need a string, another string for tester. The tester is actually a thing. We put all our words in, and we compare this string is what we've written, and this string is what we need to write. We need to go inside the start. We actually give the sentence we want to write in here. So I'm gonna say holder is equal to, what do I want to say? I want to say, for example, BatPan. Then I need to make them capital. I want all of them to be capital, so I'm gonna say holder.holder.toUpper, which is gonna take all the words and make them capital. Then what I want to do is I want to make empty spaces and underlines according to this one. So if we have 5 words, I need to show 5 underlines. We first need to deactivate all the underlines. To do that, we say for int I, which is equal to 0, I is less than underlines dot length, then I plus plus. What it's gonna do is it's gonna start from 0, then it's gonna go with the underlines dot length, which is the amount of underlines we have, and it's gonna deactivate all of them. So to deactivate all of them, you're just gonna say underlines house number I dot set active is equal to false. So it's gonna start from 0, it's gonna deactivate 0, then it's gonna make the I 1, plus it by 1, then it is 1, it deactivates the house number 1, and it's gonna continue until the houses are empty. This was for the emptying. Then we empty all of it, then we need to make space for the BatPan, and it has 6 words, so we need to make it 6 words. We can do that by saying for another for int I equal to 0, I less than holder.length this time, not underlines.length, holder.length. What is holder? Holder is the word we want to write. Its length is 6, so we have 6 under here. Then we're gonna say underlines house number I dot set active equal to true. First we deactivate all of them with this one, then we activate the amount needed with this one. This is what we do inside the start. I hope you guys understood that. Let me first show you guys that this actually works. We need to create I'm gonna create an empty object for my script. I'm gonna name it script. I'm gonna give it my code. It actually needs which are these ones, and it needs text files. So I'm gonna give it, like, you can give it one by one. I don't recommend this way. You just select your script, you click on this lock icon, so whenever you click anywhere else, it doesn't change. Then you go select all of your underlines. You go to its first one, you press the left click, you drag it and drop it on your underlines. Don't put it here, put your underlines. When you do this, it's gonna automatically set it from 0 to 8. This way is actually very faster, so I recommend you guys doing it this way. Or you can make it 0, or you make it 8, and it's gonna do it empty. You can drag and drop it one by one. I don't recommend this way. I should prefer dragging and dropping it from 1 to 8. And be sure to click the lock icon again when you're done with that. So this is the script. So we have BatPan. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to be active. So these 2 should be deactivated when I press the play. As you guys see, we have 6 spaces for BatPan. This is actually the start. This is what we're gonna do. This is the actual part. So we're gonna do the actual part. We first gonna check if we can write or not. So we say if can write is equal to true. So if we can actually write, then we go and do what we want to do. We first check if we have pressed any key. So we say if input dot any key. So it checks if we have pressed any key. And if we have pressed any key, we say for each character we pressed, we call it C in input dot input string. For every character, for every keyboard button we've clicked, and there is a character for that one inside the input dot input string, which holds the values for keyboard buttons. So I want everything that I write to be capital. To do that, I need to actually create a function which will take every character I type and make them capital. So I'm gonna make it a type of character. You have to be under the void update. Don't do it inside the update. Go down. I'm gonna name it converter, like 3 previous videos, and it takes a character C. I can say if you've seen my previous videos, you guys will understand this, but these parts very easy. I'm gonna explain it for the guys who didn't watch my previous videos. What this does is it's gonna create a string of G1 and G2. Even the namings are the same from my previous video to my previous videos. G1, the string we have, is equal to C, the character we just took, and make it a string. So we can put it inside G1, then make it upper, which will make it capital. So G1 is actually equal to this one. If we have, for example, took B, small b, it's gonna be like this. And this is house number 0 of the character. So this is 1, 2, and 3. If we want to take that, we're just gonna say, if we want to put one character of it, we're just gonna say G1, house number 0, as I've said before. Then you're just gonna say return G2, which is going to return the character. So what this does is it takes a character from our code, it makes it capital, it puts it inside another character, and it returns the character to our code. So on here, I'm going to create another character. I'm going to name it T, so I can put the capital letter inside. Then I say T is equal to converter, and we give it C. I call my converter function, then I give it the keyboard that we've pressed and was actually inside the input string, and we put it inside this and we make it capital. So this is how to make it capital. Text with the house number, as I've said before, we give it the house number dot text is equal to T, the character we just took, and dot toString, which is going to take the character T and it's going to make it a string to put it inside our text. What we have is a text, so we need to give it a string, not a character. So we just make that a string so it doesn't introduce any errors. Then we make our tester, which was the compare sentence, that we compare it with the actual sentence we needed to write. We can say if it is actually the same. So we say tester plus equal T. So it's going to add one character by one character to it. Then we go house number plus plus. So if we put the word inside house 0, then we don't put it again in house 0. We put it in the house number 1. What this plus plus is, it actually makes it plus 1. Then I say code int plus plus. What this code int does is it actually checks if we have pressed enough keys as our length of our holder. For example, we have to press 6 words. We have to put 6 words, then we have to press 6 keys. So it checks if we have pressed 6 keys, then it would break and it won't let us type anymore. So under here, we're just gonna say if code int is equal to holder.length. This is exactly what I said right now. We're just gonna say break. If we have, reached that amount, then we go under the for each, not inside the for each. We check again if we have, the amount we wrote was the amount that was last was. If we have 6 words, if we have written 6 times. So when we finished everything, we first go down here and check if we have typed okay or typed wrong. So to do that, we're just gonna say if tester, the string that I told you guys we would use to compare our sentence with the actual sentence, if tester is actually equal to holder. This one is what we wrote, this one is what we needed to write. So if it is the same, then we say true, else we say false. If it is not true, then it is false. So on true, I'm just gonna say can write is equal to false. So we won't be able to write anymore. Then we make all our words green. To make all of them green, we're just gonna say for int I is less than underlines length I plus plus, not underlines length. Make it text.length. So it's gonna change the colors here. To do that, we're just gonna say text. The text we have, house number I dot color is equal to color dot green. If we have typed correctly, it's gonna make it green. And if we've typed wrong, for now I'm just gonna say can write is equal to false and make it red. So we say for int I is equal to 0. I is less than text.length I plus plus. Under here, I'm just gonna say text I dot color equal to color dot red. You guys could have just copied this one and pasted here and just change the green to red. I wrote all of this. So let us check this part. Then I'm gonna create a function for the red one. Write BatPan here. So I'm gonna say BATPAN. It is actually green and it won't let me type anymore. Let me show you guys. It's gonna make it red. So to create this one, this it is easier inside an enumerator to wait for a second. So I'm gonna name it wrong answer coroutine. I'm gonna go inside. So at the start we need to change the color to red. This time I won't write it. I just copy this, cut this one, and paste it here. You can right click and copy or cut. I cut it here. You can do that by Control X or Control C and paste it with Control V. So we first make it red, then we wait for a second. For example, we wait for seconds. Wait for 1 second, or actually 1.5 second. If you make it half, you just have to put the F, because if you don't put the F, it's gonna give an error. Just put the F so it knows that it is actually a float. We wait for 1 second, then we reset everything. So you guys don't need to write this part. I'm just gonna write this part so you guys know what I'm doing actually. We first make our house number 0, so when we type again it starts from 0 and it doesn't introduce any bugs. Like the house num, we need to make the code in 0 as well for the same reason. Then we make the tester empty. You put these two, then you make it empty. Then I make all the colors white, all of the words white, like it was at the beginning of the video. So we just can say, you can just don't let me type all of that. You just copy this one, put it here instead of red. Let's say white. You guys don't have to write all of that. Then I make can write equal to true, so I can type again. So after we've done this, we need to call it from the wrong function. You're just gonna say start coroutine. Then put the name inside and give a semicolon at the end. One more thing I forgot to do. When you change the colors, you actually need to make all the spaces empty. So to make all the text empty, you're just gonna say texts house number I dot text is equal to empty. So it's gonna empty all our texts. If I press on play and I type anything wrong, something wrong, it's gonna make it red. Then it's gonna wait for 1 second, then it's gonna reset it so we can type again. So type wrong. After 1.5 seconds, it resets. So if I type BatPan, it is actually true. I won't change anything else. So what if you want to, give the value and the sentence you want from outside the code and not from the inside of the code? It is actually easy. You're just gonna delete this from the start, and the holder, you're just gonna make it a serialized field. So make a serialized field string holder, which will let you guys, change the value from outside. So I'm gonna say hello instead of BatPan. So I click it now, so you guys can see it. So you guys see, I type wrong, it gets red. I type true, it gets, So this was the first part of creating the function of the Amanda the Adventurer. In the next part, if you guys played the Amanda the Adventurer, you guys know if you've typed the wrong thing, for example, 3 to 4 times, it's gonna, type the correct thing itself whenever you press any key. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and understood this video pretty well. I'm gonna go think about something for the end of the video, as I did in my previous videos. So guys, this is what I created for the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.